Welcome back to the podcast. It is Tuesday afternoon, January 17th, 2023. And today I've got some updates on the men's and women's basketball teams and then some uh, football news, a lot based on like recruiting, that kind of stuff. So some good information there that we're going to go over. So we'll start with the men's basketball team. They are currently 10-6 overall. I'm sorry, 11-6 overall and 2-2 in the MAC. They are 6-1 at home so far this year. So they were 10-6, and then of course on Saturday they beat Northern Illinois 84-67 to improve to 11-6, even up their conference record at 2-2. Dante Maddox led the team with 18 points. And this was a pretty solid performance by the Rockets. And the defense played fairly well, too. They out rebounded Northern Illinois 44-32. But the big number here, the Huskies only had 9 offensive rebounds. So Toledo did a really good job at fixing something that was an issue in at least the last couple of games, where they were giving up a lot of offensive rebounds. So Northern Illinois was really held in check there. And I think they only had, if I remember correctly, like 9 points in second chance scoring points. So that was pretty big. Um, in all, there were 4 different players with at least 15 points for Toledo, and pretty solid effort. Like I said, Dante Maddox led the way with 18 points. Cochran did miss this game with an injury, so he's back now to on the sideline. I haven't gotten an update in whether or not he's going to play tonight, but thought maybe there could have been something going on because the last game he only had, I think it was 4 points. Didn't seem to play the way he had in the previous couple games. So be interesting to see how that goes for Tyler Cochran. Like I said, they play tonight. They're hosting Ohio University. This is I believe it's a whiteout game that they're advertising it to be tonight. So that game is at 7 p.m. And then Friday night, they will travel to Buffalo to take on the Buffalo Bulls. And that game is going to be televised on CBS Sports Network. So a couple of pretty good opponents there, tough conference games. And of course, with 2-2 in the MAC right now, every game is very important. You know, just still early in conference play, but 2 tough games that they want to win if they have thoughts of being a top, 1 or 2 seed into the MAC tournament. So, going to be interesting to see how those games go, especially tonight. Toledo's 6-1 at home. That's non-conference and in conference. So this is a game you definitely need to win. So it'll be interesting to see. Now we're going to switch over to women's basketball a little bit, and there's a big game coming up tomorrow night for women's basketball. But first, let's talk a little recap of where they're at. They are 12-3 overall, 3-1 in the MAC, and they are 7-1 so far at home this year. After that tough loss at Northern Illinois, they bounced back with impressive wins. They've taken on both Ball State and Kent State, 2 of the other top teams in the MAC, and they beat them both. Ball State, they won at home 83-76. And then at Kent State, they won 77-68. That Kent State game, it was tied 32-32 at halftime. And the Rockets outscored them 26-12 in the third quarter to really take command of the game. Quenisha Lockett had 36 points in that game. Just fantastic effort. I mean, she scored nearly half of the points, half the team's points. So great effort in that game by Lockett, and a big win against a good Kent State women's basketball team. So now, tomorrow night, Wednesday night, is a big one at Bowling Green. Not only is the Bowling Green Falcons, Toledo's main rival, but Bowling Green is really good. They're 14-2 overall, 3-1 in the MAC, and they are 6-0 at home. So This is a game that's going to be at Bowling Green. This is going to be a fantastic game, really. It should be a back and forth game. It'll be interesting to see who can come out on top. Looking at what Bowling Green has done in the conference, they lost their first game at Ball State 81-73, and then they beat Eastern Michigan and Central Michigan pretty easily, and then beat Akron in their last game to improve to 3-1 in the conference. You look a little bit at Bowling Green, they're led by really 4 players that are over double digits in scoring. Quite a few seniors here. 3 of the 4 are seniors. Elisa Brett is a senior. She's averaging 13.1 points per game. Junior Nyla Hampton, 12.4 points per game. And then senior Ellison Day and senior Morgan Sharps are both averaging 11.1 points per game. And then they have a 5th player. I can't remember the name, but she was just under 10 points per game. It was like 9 points or something like that. So they're a very balanced team. They have a lot of seniors, senior leadership, and just they're playing really good. So this is going to be a very big game for the Rockets. Both teams looking really good at 3-1 in the conference. And the winner of this game is going to have a bit of an edge, I guess, at this point in the conference standings. Of course, Ball State has played really well. Toledo did beat them. Bowling Green lost to them. So that's another team to look at in conference play for the women. And then after this game, Toledo will come back to Savage Arena and the Rockets will host Akron. That'll be on Saturday. So it's a little bit of the basketball update. I wanted to spend a little more time on football just for some different news that I picked up. And we're going to first look here. Let me just update something here really quick. All right. So first of all, we're going to look at the the current recruiting class and transfer portal and so forth. And first of all, Demir Blankham Sees, wide receiver for Toledo. He was a sophomore this year, played pretty well. He has entered the transfer portal. A little disappointed on this one because I thought he was going to really be good and have a really good year next year in the fall for Toledo. So, you lose players and you gain players through the portal. That's the way college football works now. The transfer portal is huge. And in this particular case, we're losing a player to the portal. He's already been offered by Memphis and Georgia State. So it'll be interesting to see where he ends up going. I'm hearing Memphis is pretty good, has a pretty good shot at getting him there in the American Athletic Conference. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. Do wish Demir good luck in the future. Disappointed that he's not going to be in Toledo. Like I said, I thought he was going to really have a good year in 2023, but we'll see how it goes. So another player for the 2023 class I wanted to talk about, and this is a junior college transfer, somebody that is on Toledo's radar. And this is defensive end Ezra Christensen from San Diego Mesa College in California. He's 6'2", 265 pounds. He has 18 Division I offers right now, and Toledo is definitely in the mix. A lot of offers from Group of 5 teams. So like, MAC, Conference USA, Sun Belt, American Athletic, that kind of thing, Mountain West, so forth. He's a pretty quick type of player, right? He's 265 pounds, so he's got good size, but he's quick, can get into the backfield. And I think he can probably play even in the middle some. And Toledo, I don't know about the nose position, but definitely on the outside on the ends. And it'll be interesting to see if Toledo can get him to come here. Recruiting, the signing day coming up here is February 1st, I believe. Let me look at the calendar real quick. Or is it the 2nd? It's the 1st. So we're just over 2 weeks away from the February signing period and starting on February 1st. So it'll be interesting to see if he will commit to Toledo or not. From what I'm hearing, he's definitely got Toledo in the mix. But there are some other schools that he's looking at as well. So don't know if he'll come to Toledo or not, but he's definitely somebody I wanted to bring up today because I've been hearing a little bit of chatter about him. Then from there, um, just some new offers for the class of 2024. So that would be next year's recruiting class. And these are guys that are like, they're currently juniors in high school. So they'll be seniors in high school next year. And quite a few offensive linemen I've heard of recently here. So Matt Hoffer is an offensive lineman that was at junior day event at UT just yesterday on Martin Luther King Jr. Day. And he received an offer from the Rockets. He is 6'5", 280 pounds. He's from Valparaiso High School in Valparaiso, Indiana. His team won a state championship in 2022, and he was an all-state offensive lineman. And he's got a great GPA, 3.81 GPA. So, he's good academics, good athlete. That's what the Rockets like to do, right? You've seen not only is there good talent on the field, but they're very good academically in the classroom. You've seen recently the awards that the Rockets have won and so forth. So he fits the type of player that Toledo recruits. And so he was offered during the junior day event yesterday. Another player here, offensive lineman, not sure if I'm going to say the first name right, but Idris Cotton. He is from Plymouth High School in Plymouth, Michigan. He's 6'4", 285 pounds. And he was an all-state player in the state of Michigan this past year. And he holds a 3.78 GPA, so another guy with a high GPA. And he has a handful of our offers right now, Division I offers, and he received an offer from Toledo a couple days ago. Another offensive lineman, Ryan Howerton. He is from St. Vincent Pallotti High School in Laurel, Maryland, 6'5", 300 pounds, and he has a 3.71 GPA. He is a three-star prospect, and he has an offer from West Virginia right now. I think he picked that up the other day, or maybe it was like a week ago or so. So now he's got an offer from Toledo. So you see there's a common theme here. A lot of 2024 recruits here recently that are getting offers from Toledo that are offensive linemen. I'm going to switch over to a defensive end here now, still 2024 class, and that is defensive end DJ Allen out of Germantown High School in Memphis, Tennessee. He received an offer from Toledo the day after he received an offer from UCF, Central Florida. So this is just a couple days ago. He's 6'4", 220 pounds. He's an edge rusher, good speed, and another player that should be getting a lot of attention in the 2024 recruiting class. So he received an offer from Toledo. And then another player here, and these are all players just in the last like 3-4 days or so that have received offers from Toledo, and that I've been able to find information on. And this is athlete Tayshawn Burney. He can play on the defensive side, defensive back, safety type of deal, and he can also play like receiver, potentially running back, that kind of thing. So he's being recruited as an athlete. He's 5'10", 160 pounds, from Carrollwood Day School in Tampa, Florida. He is a 3-star prospect, and he has offers from Wake Forest and Pitt as well. And he just received an offer from Toledo. I think it was about 4 or 5 days ago. Excuse me. So then, looking at the class of 2025 news, and these are players that, so these players were sophomores in high school this year, so they're just going to be juniors next year. So in these cases, as sophomores, this is more of a verbal offer. You don't really get official paperwork until your junior year to get an offer. So these are like verbal offers, but they have also received offers from the Rockets here just recently. And The first one is offensive tackle. So again, we're looking at the offensive line. Offensive tackle Raphael Green from Winton Woods High School in Ohio. He's 6'6", 320 pounds. He has a 3.24 GPA, and he also just received an offer from Pitt. And then the other player here is outside linebacker Justin Hill. He is 6'4", 215 pounds, also from Winton Woods High School. So you can see that the Rockets have been hitting the road, right, recruiting in the high schools. Hill is has a 3.8 GPA, 6'4", 215 pounds, really good size. He's even a guy that you could see potentially going to like edge rusher, defensive end type deal. So that's another player in the 2025 recruiting class that just recently received an offer verbally from the University of Toledo. So those are some updates on some of the players that have recently received offers here that we've been able to find information in. There was, like I said, there was a junior day yesterday here at UT. So several players in there for that. And Matt Hoffer was one of those players that received an offer. So, good to see some of the offensive linemen getting offers in there. We've got a pretty good recruiting class going for offensive linemen. You look at who's already signed out of high school, and then there's a couple of transfers, and then we're looking at the defensive side of the ball here. We've got the JUCO defensive end Ezra Christensen, who is still potentially a player that could commit to the class here in 2023. And I think that we've already talked a little bit about the couple of offensive linemen that did commit here recently that were transfers. I don't have their information up right now, but there was some information there, and there was also a high school tight end that had committed. So we're looking at 3 more commitments that have committed since the early signing period that should be signing in a couple weeks on February 1st. And there's always the possibility of Ezra Christensen as well. And I think that there's probably 1 or 2 others out there that are possibilities that the staff could bring in. So, when I look at it, there's probably potential good 5, 6 more players yet to add to this recruiting class. And, there could even be more that happen after that, especially with the transfer portal. It opens up again in the spring where players can transfer again, enter into the portal. And that has happened in the past to Toledo, where they've had players transfer out, and they can also get players coming in at that time. So, there's still that potential a little bit later than what you expect in the recruiting class portion of it, right? Like this at signing day. So you want to make sure that you have at least a couple of scholarships available for those types of situations. And definitely Toledo will do that. So that's why I think we're probably looking at maybe, not even, probably more like 3 to 4, possibly 5 more players that could sign on February 1st is what I'm expecting that we would probably see. I don't think we'll see much more than that. Though Demir Blinkumsey's scholarship would be opening up now that he has entered the transfer portal and is going to another school. But you want to make sure you have some scholarships on hand, for bringing anybody in. So that's pretty much the update there. That's about it in terms of football. Just going back to basketball again, there's a big game tonight at Savage Arena against Ohio University for the men's basketball team, and then a huge game tomorrow night at Bowling Green between the Rockets and the Falcons. Both teams 3-1 in conference, and this kind of, whoever wins this game, I think kind of has the edge at this point in at the top of the conference standings. You know, you got Ball State up there too, but Toledo's already beat them. So this is a huge game tomorrow night for the women's basketball team. So let me know in the comments what you think, who you think is going to win in both the men's and women's games, and how the teams are doing so far this year. And there's any other information that you want me, any topics that you want me to talk about in the podcast, let me know in the comments, and I'll see what I can do. Thank you, everybody.